Hey, VWLIFErs! How's it going out there, everybody?
How are you doing today?
We are going on an adventure today, AJ.
Yes, we are.
We're headed to H-Town, baby, my old hometown, to rescue.
I don't know.
You don't know? Yeah,
I don't know
never
anything.
seen this car. This car he was around before you were even born.
Most of the cars we get are that way.
Yeah, that's true. But no, this car in my life was around. Anyway, my buddy Raymond is having a kind of like, what do you call that when you start whittling your stuff down, which is
Thinning the herd.
Thinning the herd.
Which you don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's why I didn't know the term.
So what we're doing today is we're going to H-Town. My old buddy Raymond is getting rid of Thumper, his Rabbit SCCA race car. You know what race car spelled backwards is?
It's a palindrome.
What is it spelled backwards?
Race car.
Race car.
Yeah,
So we're going to
teachers. We'll teach y'all things.
We're gonna get a race car. So this trailer's empty, as you see behind us right now, but we're getting ready to add something to it. Stick with us, this is gonna be an adventure. It's me and AJ, so there's no telling what kind of trouble we're gonna find along the way.
One eternity later.
So here we are over in H-Town. It got dark on us. We're rolling into Raymond's old place over here, but we're getting ready to see what kind of trouble we can get into over here when we get us a Volkswagen Rabbit. So I'm excited. I haven't seen Raymond in a while. I certainly haven't seen this car in a long time.
That's good, Dad.
Get a good picture of the dead possum. Oh, Lord.
Right here?
Yeah. Battery's completely dead. But the revolutions are still with it.
Do you have the bumpers?
I don't have the bumpers. Oh. I do have an extra set of brackets. You can have this tow bar for it too, Gary.
Is this thing ran? Was it set up for street prepared and you just ran it prepared just because?
The day I ran it street prepared.
So it's still it was a street prepared car, right? Because it still has a heater core. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you get these off.
You don't.
What?
You don't.
The stickers.
You can't.
Oh, those decals?
Yeah.
You can't.
At this late point in life, I don't think you are.
All right. You know, you had a race car back in the old days.
Yeah.
Rocky 1, you told me stories of.
Yeah.
Picture here.
Yeah.
And like, you always told me how much fun it was going in there, cutting off weight, cutting off bolt heads, you know, extra threads.
Oh
going
man,
in
it's
there. The joy of investing that much time into a vehicle. But that's also back when Scirocco's were cheap.
right.
There was junkyards full of them.
You want? I wanted to
class.
get it, and I don't want it class. I wanted to get this thing, buy it, get it back on the road, and sell it so somebody can drive it as a car.
As a stock car.
Yeah, like it's a regular car on the street,
Yeah.
like it's a 76 or 77 Volkswagen Rabbit. Race cars have no value.
Yeah, they don't.
It's zero value.
It's like a custom car. People want it their way.
Right. And so now that's the dilemma now, because
There's no bumpers, there's no seats, there's
nothing, it's stripped.
because if you want to sell this car, you gotta find headlights for it, everything.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's nothing. I thought the pictures I had, it still had all this stuff in it. It had the pictures, had the bumpers and seats and headlights, and now it's a stripped out car, which is, I don't think it has much value as a stripped out car. I don't. We gotta. What do you think? I mean, it's the old adage, we drove this far. What would y'all do out there in TV land? I mean, if it was anybody but Raymond,
Yeah.
I'd walk.
No, let's get it, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Well, sliding.
It's rolling on the fronts.
It is?
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to shove the car this way.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. What's that?
Bad angle.
Dude, it's so light.
Look at that.
Load itself.
Yeah. That's fun. Looking good?
Yeah, I got about 18 inches.
10-4. So let's come back.
About another foot.
Yeah, I think about another foot. Wow. Hey, look what we got behind us.
It's a Rabbit.
10 of 76. So
you
it's
go.
a 77 model. So this is an old prepared SECA autocross car. This thing was in a garage for 19 years, parked in a garage, so it hadn't ran forever.
Is that a garage find?
Yeah, yeah. This would be a garage, almost a garage barn find, but it's got a set of 40 DCOE Webers. Still run a 4-speed, so it's going to need a little work on that. That's for sure. But look at this thing. It's straight and it is not rusty. I mean, it's crazy. That's original whatever orange they came in that year.
It's almost coyote orange.
Yeah, it almost is. And I'm sure this is probably a dealer installed. It had delete on the rear view mirrors on the outside. No vents. I mean, this is probably a pretty much bottom line Rabbit back in the day. It's missing the bumpers and most of the interior. It's got a roll bar in it. Hey, stick with us on this thing. We're gonna see what we're gonna do with it. It'll be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a fun project. Old Bear ain't the only race, don't have the only race car anymore. But we might go road racing with this thing.
3:28 a.m.
Well, I was just adding up the time we've been in the automobile. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. She's a real cute car.
The next day.
All right, Pop, seeing it in daylight. What do we think?
Yeah, baby. Needs a little work. But I'm excited. It's straight. Oh, it is straight. This car, I don't think it's ever been hit. Raymond and I were talking. This thing probably has less than 50,000 miles on it. Yeah, they're all race miles. But I mean, the thing with it was a 10 of 76. Probably purchased it in maybe a January purchase of 78. I started racing it, and Raymond said that he remembers racing it against it in 82. That's 4 years later. Yeah, I might have some super low miles on it. You know, and it shows. I mean, you know, from that standpoint, the body's straight.
Oh, there's a break in the stripes. Oh, does it say Rabbit? Oh, please say Rabbit. Oh, please say Rabbit. Let's go.
Oh,
that's awesome.
that is.
Why would you cover that up with a Beetle sticker? That's so cool.
Here's your chance.
I've driven a race car.
All those years you wanted to drive. Does it even have brakes?
No way.
Fire it up.
Oh, it smells so bad. Jesus, how short was the guy?
Raymond.
Oh, true. Oh, it smells bad. Oh, it's got some brakes.
You ready?
Yep.
Turn that thing down the street. I mean,
Driveway?
Yeah.
I was just stopping it because, you know.
Stopped, okay? Yeah. My God.
Start pulling stickers. Cannonball. All right, you guys. So here's what we've done. We've come in, we've pulled off all the decals and stickers, kind of making it more streamlined, kind of seeing what was underneath, seeing if anything was getting covered up. Leaving VW Sport on because, you know, Volkswagen Sport, that's what we do.
But look what we uncovered there.
Yeah, the awesome Rabbit sticker that was underneath a new Beetle from 2000. Started cleaning out in here, put the battery in the lowest spot, center of gravity kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cleaning it out, and now we're kind of just getting it back good and normal.
So what do you got here, AJ?
I have no idea, man. Those look like weird. They're not. I have no idea. I don't know racing wheels. They're not Fuchs.
They're not Fuchs.
What do we got there?
Those are Revolutions, which were the hot setup about 40 years ago.
That would be 1982.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, close to that. So they were made in England. They were super light. Those are, yes, that is yellow. They have yellow. They used to be pure white. Those are 13x7s. So that was the maximum you could run in E-Prepared. And those are 20x13 Goodyear cantilever slicks. Let's go under here and see what we got under here, AJ. What do you got? So you were working on something right now.
Yeah, I'm going to pull off these bumper brackets. So these kind of people use these as tow hooks and whatnot. We have the trailer, so we don't need necessarily the tow hitch or the tow mounts. So we're gonna come in here, pull these off.
So they would flat tow this to the races, right?
Exactly.
And they have a tow bar that would hook to that.
Yes, sir.
And they wouldn't tow it on. They wouldn't tow it on the
bar
rollers. They would tow it on the
street tires.
Street tires, right? And flip them over. So that's cool. And when I say they, you're looking at one of the guys that did this with my 75 Scirocco. So this is a 77 Rabbit. So it's very similar. You know, like you can't go back in time kind of thing, they say sometimes. And that's true, you can't. But this right here is a flashback to my my old 75 Scirocco race car. I thought when we got this, it was going to have a little bit more of the stock parts to it, as far as the interior and everything, but it doesn't. I mean, you can see it doesn't have headlights. The bumpers are gone. The interior is it has a dash, but it's got a custom interior set up there. It has the door panel still. Needs a headliner. What we're gonna do, I think, is we're gonna just kind of play with it a little bit. I think we're gonna kind of make it, we'll make it back to a street race car kind of thing. It got some big old Weber 45s on there, which too much carburetor for this thing, but we'll get old Tommy B. Smith to do that. Now that we got the stickers off, we can do some body analysis on here. There's a little kink right there. That's the worst spot on the body, okay? I mean, look at these doors. It's not even dinged. It's crazy. It needs a rearview mirror. So it's got an area here that this is a flexed, from this car flexed from autocrossing. So we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do on that. But one of the coolest things is, if you on these old Mark 1s of these frame horns that came out, you can see how they were formed like this, and that was kind of like a crash absorption thing. This car's never been hit. I mean, look at the inside here. This is all original paint. It's all original. What I would like to do to this car, what I really like to do to this, is I would like to make it into look like a Golf, like a 77 Golf GTI. That's kind of my MO on this, to make it, to go with that. But we're gonna leave
they didn't bring GTIs to America until 1983.
Bingo, that's why I said Golf GTI. So Volkswagen, you know, they came out in 75 was the first Rabbit. It was, of course, it was a Golf over in Europe. And so the Mark 1 chassis, and they decided to kind of make a high performance Golf. So it was a little 1.6. I think it put out like maybe 110 horsepower or something crazy like that. Ooh. Fuel injection. And you know, had a little bit lower, a little bit stiffer springs, that kind of thing. So the Golf GTI. Volkswagen America said, man, we want that, we want that. And they didn't bring it over here until they started building the Westmoreland cars in 80. That's the ones when you have the square headlights in the front. Okay, this would be a German with the round headlights. So this, and the turn signals would be in the front bumper. So that's something we're gonna have to source on this too, is to figure out how we're gonna do that, since we don't have bumpers yet. So in 83, they finally came out with a GTI. I bought a GTA, an 84, brand new 84. That's my first car I ever bought new, was an 84 GTI. And they were great, but you know, 1.8, it was, man, it was a great, I mean, that's the hottest car out there, you know, right now. These Mark 1s are crazy. People are loving these things. But this is what I grew up on wrenching, man. So I love these cars. I'm excited. You know, it's just the more I get into this, the more excited I am. So this was an old ingenious idea. You take the bumper, these had the shock absorbers on the bumpers. And so you do is you take the shock absorber part out, and you still use that, and you weld on your mount for your universal tow bar to go right in. So I did that with my old Scirocco. We haven't even got into the inside yet. We're gonna put in a couple of 16 valve Scirocco Recaro seats we have. Has an old auto power roll cage. That's kind of cool. But as far as the interior, you can see it doesn't have, it has nothing. So we're gonna have to do some work in here too. I was worried that stickers were going to pull off the paint and everything, but totally cleans it up.
Because it was kept inside.
Yeah, it was kept inside since 2003. We decided to leave the big giant Coney vintage sticker for now because it's kind of cool. And it is running Coneys, so. I'm sure this was a dealer installed, this stripe kit, and the fact that it has Rabbit right there, how cool is that, man? Of course, the gauge pod, speedo pod, everything is missing in this, so I have to source one of those. But I always love the little round defrost vents there on the top. And the dash has one crack, not too bad. It's gonna be neat, man. I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. Jay, what you been doing over here, buddy?
All right, so fuel pump that we had in stock.
Oh yeah.
Got that on. Now it's time to see if it works. I pulled it off the carburetor in the front because it's carbureted. Yeah. And I pulled off, oh, excuse me, the Webers.
Oh yeah. 45 DCOE side draft.
I don't know how that's
Dual Webers.
It's too many letters. Numbers.
All right,
so I got it hooked up here, just out of a can.
Electric fuel pump,
and I'm gonna just fire it up. And this thing is it's got a switch, and we'll show you the switch we got hooked up for it. But remember, when you work with electrical, always disconnect your battery.
This is a race car setup, so they got
fuel pump, ignition, start right there.
Right.
Let me get this out so we can see.
So you're gonna see if it's gonna puke. All right.
Let's see what we got here.
All right. All you gotta do is hit the fuel pump, right?
Yeah. Come on, baby.
I see fuel.
Hey!
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. All right, so now we know this has fuel, so we're gonna put it back up here on the carbs and excuse me, the Webers, and see how it goes.
Oh, it's fancy. Look at that.
You know, I've never had something with Webers before.
I know, you have a set of Webers now.
Things are gonna start.
Dude, these things go boop, boop, boop.
Am I gonna be like Tommy B?
Oh yeah. You go boop. The main fuel line coming in, then it's tinkers off into the other one there, tees off. Of course, it's kind of harder. You can't drive it anywhere right now because your gas tank's on the ground.
True.
All right, let it load up them carbs.
That sounds cool.
All right, fire in a hole. You'll hear it kind of start bogging down. Open up your throttle. Stop.
Fuel pump ignition. Ready?
Yeah.
Holding over the throttle.
Go ahead.
What all you need to have a running car?
Fuel and spark.
And so how are you testing spark?
Well, we're just gonna put a spare plug we have here so that way we don't have to pull that out of the head, and we're just gonna ground it off and see if it's getting spark when you well, this is an MSD, so I don't want it may have some juice behind it, so I'm gonna set it right there. I don't want to get popped. No spark.
2 very boring minutes later.
Hey, what's happening here? Look who showed up. Keep it going. Oh.
Turn it off. Them carbs need to be rebuilt.
You think? The rabbit ran.
You know, they say nothing runs like a rabbit.
I don't know if I've heard him say that before, but you know what? You did a good job. I'm proud of you today. You started your first messing with electric fuel pumps and Webers
so
and...
that part was new to me. I have a little experience with fuel injection from the 78 we did. Getting in there and seeing how the belts are all set up. I mean, my world's air cooled. That's what I know. It's what I'm used to.
You've never worked on
So
things.
getting into one of these, it was new to me. Getting in there, kind of just not gonna hurt anything. That's kind of like
that's what we were talking. That was a conversation we had last night. It's like, you're not going to hurt anything on this. I mean, you know, everything was. I had spark, we had fuel. I'm like, it's just not wanting to kick over. So you know, you just go back. We literally went back to basics, and I went back to basics from 40 years ago. I guess what would that be? What would it be? 40, 82?
when you were a young buck.
Yeah, it's about that time, and it was when I was working on Mark 1s and getting the timing marks, and so we just reset every timing mark on this as it is. Really, I mean, you know, it's a couple of, you just make sure everything lines up.
Yes, sir.
And we got everything lined back up, put the timing belt back on, and it fired up. I mean, it runs, you know. Carburetors are really gummed up and bad, and we were running on a gas can, not the fuel tank, so that's something to attack. We'll take the carbs off, get them cleaned up.
See what old Barry can
See
do.
what old
maybe.
Bear can. We put him. Let the Weber guru get after it. But it's not exactly the day I had planned today. But that's the best part because we got to work on this thing.
We got stuff done. Absolutely.
We got a car that has not been running for 19 years to run. We cleaned it up pretty good.
We want to thank you all for coming along on this journey with us from first sight with this car to getting it running in one video. That's what we do. Trying to do a new experience with VWLIFE here. We want to thank you. So let us know in the comments below if you like this style, if you want more broken up videos, longer videos. Let us know in the comments.
This was a stem to stern. You saw us pick this thing up last night, and we got it running today.
In one day, in like camera world, this happened last night to this morning.
Oh yeah, less than 24 hours.
Yeah, less than 24
Yeah,
hours.
so that's pretty good.
Yep, absolutely.
Car that's been sitting 19 years. I feel good about that. That's a
do
good
too.
feeling. Thank y'all very much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Make sure you tell your aunts, tell your uncles, tell everybody you know about VWLIFE. This is what we do, man.
absolutely.
Go out and find an old car that's been sitting for 19 years and get it running.
Absolutely.
In one day. We did it.